Welcome to another show. Today, we mourn the death but celebrate the life of filmmaker David Lynch.
We've met before, haven't we?
What are you doing?
Get out of the car.
Come on, we're gonna go for a joyride.
Joyride.
I know, Thufir, I'm sitting with my back to the door. I heard you, Dr. Yui.
David Keith Lynch, born January 20th, 1946 and passed away on January 15th, 2025, was an American filmmaker, visual artist, musician, and actor. He was highly regarded for his films, which are often noted for their surrealist, dreamlike qualities. In a career which lasted more than 50 years, he was awarded numerous accolades, including the Golden Lion for Lifetime Achievement at the Venice Film Festival in 2006 and an Honorary Academy Award in 2019. Often described as a visionary, Lynch was heralded as one of the most important filmmakers of his era. David Keith Lynch was born in Missoula, Montana, on January 20th, 1946. His father, Donald Walton Lynch, was a research scientist working for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and his mother, Edwina Sonny Lynch, surnamed Sunholm, was an English language tutor. Lynch was also interested in painting and drawing from an early age, and became intrigued by the idea of pursuing it as a career path when living in Virginia, where his friend's father was a professional painter. At Francis C. Hammond High School in Alexandria, Lynch did not excel academically, having little interest in schoolwork, but he was popular with other students, and after leaving he decided that he wanted to study painting at college. He began his studies at the Corcoran School of the Arts and Design in Washington, D.C., before transferring in 1964 to the School of the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, where he was roommates with musician Peter Wolf. Lynch traveled to Europe with aspirations of training with Austrian expressionist painter Oskar Kokoschka. When that fell through, he returned to the U.S. after only 2 weeks in Europe. He decided to move to Philadelphia and enroll at the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, after advice from Fisk, who was already enrolled there. He preferred this college to his previous school in Boston, saying, "In Philadelphia there were great and serious painters, and everybody was inspiring one another, and it was a beautiful time there." It was here that he began a relationship with a fellow student, Peggy Reevey, whom he married in 1967. The following year, Peggy gave birth to their daughter Jennifer. At the Pennsylvania Academy, Lynch made his first short film, 6 Men Getting Sick, 6 Times. In 1970, Lynch moved with his wife and daughter to Los Angeles, where he began studying filmmaking at the AFI Conservatory. He would produce a film called Gardenback, which the faculty tried to get him to improvise with, but he was frustrated and almost quit. His teachers, seeing Lynch's potential, encouraged him to stay. He agreed, providing that they would not interfere with his next film, Eraserhead.
I just cut them up like regular chickens?
Sure, just cut them up like regular chickens.
Lynch has said that not a single reviewer of the film understood it in the way he intended. Filmed in black and white, Eraserhead tells the story of Henry, Jack Nance, a quiet young man living in a dystopian industrial wasteland, whose girlfriend gives birth to a deformed baby whom she leaves in his care. It was heavily influenced by the fearful mood of Philadelphia, and Lynch has called it My Philadelphia Story. After a rough start and mixed reviews, Eraserhead found a home on the midnight movie underground circuit. Stanley Kubrick lists it as one of his favorite films. With his film career launched, he soon shot to stardom.
Then stand up.
Stand up! Turn around! Mister, why is your head so big, mister?
His next film was the biopic The Elephant Man, a true story based loosely on Joseph Merrick, whose name was changed to John in the movie. It stars John Hurt, Anthony Hopkins, and Bancroft. The film is bookended with surrealist sequences centered around Merrick's mother and her death. Lynch used Samuel Barber's Adagio for strings to underline the climax and Merrick's own death. Composer John Morris argued against using the music, stating that this piece is going to be used over and over and over again in the future, and every time it's used in a film it's going to diminish the effect of the scene. The film made $26 million on a $5 million budget. It currently holds a 92% approval rating on review aggregate Rotten Tomatoes.
You have some idea of what I could do. Don't try your powers on me.
Then in 1984, Lynch brought us his version of Frank Herbert's Dune. Visually impressive, but with an awkward narrative and slow pacing, the film made about $37 million worldwide on a $40 million budget, a box office disappointment. It has been called the Heaven's Gate of science fiction. Lynch's next film was Blue Velvet.
What are you looking at? Nothing. I shoot when I see the whites of the eyes.
A 1986 American neo-noir mystery thriller film which he also wrote, blending psychological horror with film noir. The film stars Kyle MacLachlan, Isabella Rossellini, Dennis Hopper, and Laura Dern, and is named after the 1951 song of the same name. The film earned Lynch's second nomination for the Academy Award for Best Director, and received the year's Best Film and Best Director prizes from the National Society of Film Critics. It came to achieve cult status. As an example of a director casting against the norm, it was credited for revitalizing Hopper's career and for providing Rossellini with a dramatic outlet beyond her previous work as a fashion model.
Them are making a pornographic movie. Texas style. You want to join in?
One thing about surviving in Big Tuna, you gotta have an active sense of humor.
1990 brought us Wild at Heart with Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern. The film follows Sailor Ripley and Lula Fortune, a young couple who go on the run from Lula's domineering mother and the criminal she hires to kill Sailor. Wild at Heart initially received mixed reviews from critics. On review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 65% based on 54 reviews. It made $14 million on a $10 million budget, barely recouping its production and promotion budget.
It's your house, don't you remember? As a matter of fact, I'm there right now.
1997 brought us Lost Highway with Bill Pullman, Patricia Arquette, Balthazar Getty, and Robert Blake in his final film role. Upon release, Lost Highway received mixed reviews and grossed $3.7 million in North America after a modest 3-week run. Most critics initially dismissed the film as incoherent, but it has since attracted a cult following and critical praise, as well as scholarly interest. The film borrows elements from other genres, including German Expressionism and French New Wave. The terms psychological thriller and horror film have also been used to describe its narrative.
I just hope I'm not too late. You've got two brothers that haven't spoken in 10 years.
The last year of the 90s brought us The Straight Story. The film was a critical success. Reviewers praised the intensity of the character performances, particularly the realistic dialogue which film critic Roger Ebert compared to the works of Ernest Hemingway. It received a nomination for the Palme d'Or at the 1999 Cannes Film Festival, and Farnsworth received a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Actor. It stars Richard Farnsworth, Sissy Spacek, and Harry Dean Stanton. In Lawrence, Iowa, Alvin Straight fails to show up to his regular bar meeting with friends and is eventually found lying on his kitchen floor. His daughter, Rose, takes her reluctant father to see a doctor. The film has a 95% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and this is the first film by Lynch that Roger Ebert gave a positive review to, giving it 4 out of 4 stars. It was nominated for, and won, several awards.
I can't believe it. I'm just so excited to be here. I'm in this dream place.
2001 brought Mullholand Drive, another film that Lynch also wrote as well as directed. Starring Justin Theroux, Naomi Watts, Laura Herring, Ann Miller, and Robert Forster. Mullholand Drive is often regarded as one of Lynch's finest works and as one of the greatest films of all time. It was ranked 8th in the 2022 Sight and Sound Critics poll of the best films ever made and topped a 2016 BBC poll of the best films since 2000. The plot is such: a woman is about to be shot by her chauffeur on Mullholand Drive, but is saved when a car crashes into them. The woman is the sole survivor but is dazed, and hides in an apartment when the occupant leaves. The filmmaking style of David Lynch has been written about extensively using descriptions like ultra-weird, dark, and oddball. Todd McGowan writes, "One cannot watch a Lynch film the way one watches a standard Hollywood film noir, nor in the way that one watches most radical films. His work asks us to question reality similar to the writings of Philip K. Dick, which leads me to wish that Lynch would have adapted at least one of Dick's works. That would have been a masterpiece." The film has an approval rating of 84%. Dreamlike and mysterious Mullholand Drive is a twisty neo-noir with an unconventional structure that features a mesmerizing performance from Naomi Watts as a woman on the dark fringes of Hollywood. Lynch's last film is 2006's Inland Empire, an experimental psychological thriller. The cast includes such Lynch regulars as Laura Dern, Justin Theroux, Harry Dean Stanton, and Grace Zabriskie, as well as Jeremy Irons, Carolina Gruska, Peter J. Lucas, Christoph Majkrak, and Julia Ormond. Released with the tagline "A Woman in Trouble," the film follows the fragmented and nightmarish events surrounding a Hollywood actress, Laura Dern, who begins to take on the personality of a character she plays in a supposedly cursed film production. Most of the actors couldn't tell you what this film is about. Instead of getting a script, they would get fresh pages of dialogue each day before shooting. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 72%. Let's take a brief look at Lynch's television work. In 1990, David Lynch came to television with the celebrated Twin Peaks, an American surrealist mystery horror drama television series created by Mark Frost and David Lynch. It premiered on ABC on April 8, 1990, and ran for 2 seasons until its cancellation in 1991. The show returned in 2017 for a 3rd season on Showtime, for a total of 48 episodes. The setup is such: in 1989, local logger Pete Martell discovers a naked corpse wrapped in plastic on the bank of a river outside the town of Twin Peaks, Washington. When Sheriff Harry S. Truman, his deputies, and Dr. Will Hayward arrive, the body is identified as high school senior and homecoming queen Laura Palmer. A second girl, Ronette Pulaski, is discovered as well, and is badly injured and dissociative just across the state border. The series also brought us the film Fire Walk with Me. It serves as a prequel to the television series. In 1988, in the small town of Deer Meadow, Washington, teenage drifter Teresa Banks' body floats down a river, wrapped in plastic. FBI Regional Bureau Chief Gordon Cole sends agents Chester Desmond and Sam Stanley to investigate. The film was made without Twin Peaks series regulars Lara Flynn Boyle, Sherilyn Fenn, and Richard Beamer. At the time, these absences were attributed to scheduling conflicts, but in a 1995 interview, Fenn said that her real reason was that she was extremely disappointed in the way the 2nd season got off track. As far as Fire Walk with Me, it was something that I chose not to be a part of. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 64% approval rating based on 80 reviews and a consensus. For better or worse, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me is every bit as strange and twisted as you'd expect from David Lynch. In 1992, David Lynch gave us 1 season of On the Air with 7 episodes, also on ABC. The series follows the staff of a fictional 1950s television network, Zablotnik Broadcasting Company. It stars Ian Buchanan, Nancy Ferguson, Miguel Ferrer, and Gary Grossman. Ken Tucker of Entertainment Weekly gave it a positive B+ review, writing, "On the Air is a one-joke sitcom that makes explicit the message that TV is stupid, and people will watch anything." HBO would give us 3 episodes of David Lynch's anthology series Hotel Room. Each drama stars a different cast and takes place in Hotel Room 603 of the New York City-based Railroad Hotel. In addition to the aforementioned, Lynch would produce several web series, music videos, and commercials. He even did some acting in bit roles. In an August 2024 interview with Sight and Sound, Lynch said he was suffering from emphysema due to years of smoking, and had become housebound due to health risks. He said this would likely preclude any further directorial projects. In November 2024, Lynch told People that he had stopped smoking in 2022, 2 years after his emphysema diagnosis in 2020, and that he had started smoking when he was 8. He said he was reliant on supplemental oxygen for most daily activities. "I can hardly walk across a room," he said. In January 2025, Lynch was evacuated from his home due to the Southern California wildfires. Deadline Hollywood reported that these events preceded a terminal decline in his health. Lynch died at his daughter's home on January 15, 5 days short of his 79th birthday. That was our show for today. What do you think? What was your favorite David Lynch film or project? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, this is Axel in for Kevin Given, and I'd be honored if you subscribe to my channel, ring the bell to stay informed, and check out my Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter franchise also in the comments section. Until next time, live long and prosper, may the force be with you, and keep reaching for the stars.